In page Kuf design, close to the end of the page. At the end of the page. So what the last thing he was saying was comparing the what's that donim? To explain what that donim is. Crushing. That is the it's like the meichen. The meichen. And I'm saying crushing is the meichen. And in the Karka Mishkan, that is the Kosher is Bria, which is Meichen. Machshav. In Karka Mishkan, that's Mais. And the Adonim are the Memutz, which is the Midas. The Midas, Kes, Adonim Shal Kesel, Ashkis Nechsav Nechsavti, that's the Memutz. It says in the bottom of the page, let's say, let's start again. It says, it's a Shom Escheles, 6 lines on the bottom. The higher level of Meichen. Einem is gas lev is governor came is above mice. So this aber wir is gas lev, wenn wir staff mal koschen. Der Einami der Shabel Sechel, comes mislap schon mit der Shabel. The middle the Sechel is the mislap schon der lev. The lev is the memutz. Vehem khnas adonim. That's the adonim. I'm having they connect list. It's mice mitzes. So the koschen, which is the Meichen should become a high as the mice mitzes. So that's the Av. That's why Yodarim Shal Kesel, it is Av. And this is a mitzvah, Klila Gila Osnel. He goes into a little discussion how it works. In a mitzvah, the mitzvah, the Achon and Igdash Dushas a mitzvah. Where mitzvah operates is there's a Achon, there's the preparation of the mitzvah, and that makes the object of the mitzvah holy. For my bit feeling, Areba Siyas at feeling, is a Dushas a mitzvah. When the film is being made, write the parshas, make the batim, we put the parshas in the batim, we prepare the film to be made. So already at that point, before you actually put it on, it already has the holy mitzvah mamash sheyumshach b'zerotz ne'elyen u'kshad ameniach atfilin v'oznim b'zerotz ne'elyen u'shukos makamach. There's there are two stages. There's the ahana, the film, the object of the film, the actual film are ready to be used as a mitzvah, but because it wasn't used as a mitzvah, it's only the amshacha. It's not yet a mitzvah. Only when is the actually Nimshach Hotznail? Like we said in Tanya. When is it? It's not Nimshach Hotznail. When Kshasi Ba'avir, the Mekayim BMS, that's the Lashon Tanya Perik Dalet. Kayim BMS, U Kishaoy Shema Bayev, Chovs Tovko BMS, Sh'oz Nasakil Gnil. So that's the dogma of the way it works in mitzvahs. That's in general. It's not only when you get to the objects of mitzvahs. It's also in the person, in every person within himself. Not the person itself. Should be a mission of the so through that, he himself transforms into Keli to the Ratzna alien only to the Abavir. Wokasha is what are it? Wokasha is bonus there. Ilvusha Soga. Shmei Saraki in the key when his bonus is Vusha Soga when he's bonus. And his contemplation. Glorious Hashem. Is only told Vusha Soga. Oh, that we that's a low level of the tennis. But the fire. How can it's a so that level with Bainus file only the Madrig of his kafi. And he overcomes the low as a kasha. Bainus when have shot checking the reaches higher level is Bainus Shalor there was a sog Davis by Etzemeliki. That's like two stages in this goof. there's like I said, skaf in the saf. He breaks it down. There's a skaf here, which is a result of this bonus in a saga, and there's in Mashenka, which is bonus. But Shotash Leil which is a saga. When das is bonus in a higher level, Shotash, which is above a saga. There is better Malakir, is a mere level, Bli Akava, Bagil, come up by Moya Shamidis of Nimis. Then the Amshach from the Moya and the levels in the more tonalized way. I did then as a Safra Shnasakli Mamash Likus, Mashikos, Makamach. So he brought in another layer here. He added another point that in this bonus gufa, there's this Stamis bonus, there's bonus Shalmail Masam. So Indian Adonim, so that's the Adonim. The Adonim is Kesef, not Nechsafti, the Avashab is Galus Alev, that connects the Ratzmaliki with the Maisa Mitzvahs, also with the Gufa Adam, the Sap. Then it says another more maybe a deeper way. The Adonim, it said in Tiny Perek to Zion. The Avashab is Talumas Liboy between us Maicha on its own cannot create mices. We need the Abish to make special act. So that's another way to understand the Adonim. One way, the Adonim is the actual Avavir. Then he says another way to understand the Adonim is the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu Mitzvah L'Mais. It goes more, passes more what it says in Tanya. Because that level, Tanya, it says a very important point. This type of Avavir that does this Galas level revealed and expressed a type of Avavir made it like all the it's not possible that every person should reach it. Which means that he only comes to a conclusion in his mind. He understands in his mind that Abisha deserves to be loved, but he can't bring himself to that such a high level of his mind that he actually feels the love go in his heart. That's something everybody can reach. Like it says in Tanya, with the break to Zayin, so he copies the whole Shtikl Tanya here. Quotes the whole Shtikl Tanya. Even someone whose intellectual capacity is not capable. Second. Is not capable to reach that level of that his heart should be really in a strong state of desire, of yearning and desire to connect to the Avavir. With these bonus, the contemplation that everybody can reach. Person's mind is always in his control to think whatever he wants, is interested in. That's all Shenis and Tanya. He copies a huge, he quotes a huge piece of Tanya. Boinen goes and soft. He understands the greatness of it and how everything isn't significant. Kashav Ken Yosele b'meile deserve shetichla elav isbach nefesh kol chayla davar l'kol himself. Liyois the les mashavet tfisa beka kiim spelled avoda kiim kasha. Was mashavet tfisa beka kiim kasha. That's why he deserves to be hugged. So this level of ava, just to recognize, to come to the conclusion that the Eibishter deserves to be loved, that everybody can reach. That's also called a sales. That's also a type of inspiration. In the truth is, it's only like a intellectual decision. He decides that the Eibishter deserves it. But still, that even that low level has is considered sales. So this all this is in Tanya. So going back to what he says here, in the Mishkan, it's the meaning of the Mishkan, like it says, everyone has to have the Mishkan, has to have the Shechina Sheira B'Sechem. Which a cause of Shachanti B'Sechem, B'Sechem Namal B'Sechem, B'Sechem Lech Lech. Al Kain Advorim B'Mishkan, Shekol Lech Lechot Elav. So you must say that anything the Mishkan has, each individual person must have the capacity to do it, because Kol Lech Lech. What does it mean? Which means really this bonus. Everybody is obligated. And so forth. This means says I say the Prinas he repeats himself. He says, since the mitzvah is given to everybody, it means that everybody has that capacity. What he just said in Tanya, some people cannot reach it. So we must say that the Mishkan is a must of someone, of everybody. So according to that understanding, it's a caution. According to that understanding, the caution applies to that level of that anybody can reach. These bainanos at kachiyosal. And lepoil, not just that he's misbainan, but he's actually is expressing that his body was in action, because people the fact his heart feels that way, so his mouth means it affects his behavior. She yasa mitzvah yasa b'teir. Should do what his body. His body said. She after the less mashal tfisa bekim kasha tfisa b'teir mitzvah. B'meilei, that's what he's going to do. In Adonim, according to this understanding, that the koshim, it's a little different. So that's the Yeshleima. Started Omnam Yeshleima earlier. That's not Yeshleima. It's another way of understanding. First way of understanding was that Adonim are the real Ava with Galos, which is connects the Meichen and the Mid and the Mice. He says no. That the Adonim is only the Kadosh Baruch Hu Mitzvah al Mice. That applies to everybody. So that's the end of the Adonim. The Adonim is in the second shot. In the first shot, Adonim means the actual is Avaship is Galas Halev. Shenkin here, according to this shot, which applies to everybody, like I said, Avaship is Galas Halev. This connection, that's called HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mitzvah L'Mais. The promises that if you have that is blindness, he already connects it to the mice. That's why I don't show kesef. So according to this, again, kesef is another understanding. The second, the understanding is explained earlier. Kesef is the union from Av, which is the madrig of Av. Here it says kesef l'shon chesed. Chesed is the Eibishter's kindness. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mitzvah. Shezeh chesed gadol. So in a way we understood that done in two ways, two explanations. Going back to the beginning of the Maimer, so now we understand that a much deeper in the Mochsidish Pshat in the whole process that the Maimer started. This is a question of Mishkan Atzah the Kavon of Mishkan, the Kavon, the Mishkan, which means the Likus should be in Galamat, Zain, Nakoshim, Shembriya, Shamir Gileatzilus. So the Koshim, their function is, like I said earlier, the Elam Abriya, which is the field of Meir Gilead. Ba'avayder, Pnesamaychin, Last thing the gospel is man the coach, but then I give a in Avodas Hashem. First, he said what it means the mile. What is Avodas Hashem? It means these boiners. והאדונים מבחינת יציר המחבר בריא והסיר, אדונים למעלה, that's מדרגה, again, the caution is בריא, and avodah is the mech, and אדונים is the יציר המחבר בריא והסיר. אדונים למעלה, and the אילום is the yoinim, that's a remez of the אילום היציר. ובאבוידו, אבל זה נעון אבוידו, מבחינת אבויר המחבר גילה לקוש ממויר, לא ולידי מייסה, וישחייס ומייסה מצווה. That's one way. The first shot. That's the actual Avir. Like we said earlier, that the real type of Avir that affects the Maise, that's the Avir Shabbat Halef. But Chesed Hashem Aleinu, but then there's another shot, the Eibishter with his kindness, Metzav Gam Machshavat Teva LaMais. So even if there's a Machshavat Teva, which is not a high level, not the Gisgalus, but the Talumah, the Eibishter with his kindness connects that Machshava l'mais. Ein shiur kapon of the chil v'riba shbischunas meich v'azom misliboy v'adonim she'ein k'nes ha'chesed she'kadosh baruch hu misayach l'mais. The Eibishter connects the izbeinus, the talum misliboy with the mais. Zeh she'akoshem megim ad ha'karka. So this is the meaning, the remez, in the fact that the koshim. Remember, yes, the interesting question in the beginning that when they made the koshim inside the adonim, they didn't stand. The actual koshim reached all the way to the ground. It was surrounded by the adonim. Why was it that way? He says the ram is in that also. To the adonim, the koshim reach the karka. It means they become the highest, the life force of the mice, which is in the karka. Actually, they are the adonim. But how does it do it? They reach it to the adonim. It's a chesed. Now בעצם go with the again, the repeat with certain tani. Now, which is better, almost בעצם they are above mice. I praise Hashem because the Eibishter's kindness, which is the adonim. Kadosh Baruch Hu mitzaf al mice, bli eschais al mitzvos, lam shegila ratzneel al the mice al mitzvos. So that's interesting shot. Let's go back to the second time. Page Kufei Al. Start the mind again to the. This is a question on Mishkan Shitimayim. The Eibishter tells Moshe Rabbeinu that should make the koshim at Shitimayim dim v'achazik si v'arboy mat nekesef tase shnei adonim tachas hakeresh echad shnei adonim tachas hakeresh. So we have the koshim and the adonim. So in each keresh it's two adonim. Tzarich la'ov ne'ma Mishkan atzayim at Shitimayim dim. See, that's an interesting observation. The body, the walls themselves are made from wood pan, wood. And the adonim, the base of the wood which it stands on, that is made out of silver. Silver is way more valuable than wood. It's more choshev. It's two different ways to look at it. It's more expensive. It's more choshev. The shamish like choshev. So why is it that the bases that are made out of silver, they are like this? They help the koshim. And the koshim were above the adon. So he said, like logically, the more expensive thing should be higher. Gam, another point, in the end, the koshim reached all the way to the ground. They cut the end of the koshim. They cut it in a way that it should fit within the adonim. Okay, it's another like again. Not mamish shot question. Just what is the conceptual? What is the message? What is the inner meaning of the fact that the adonim, that in order for the koshim to stand on the ground, they need the adonim? What does it mean? To understand the message, the spiritual understanding of this concept, better, we have to understand what is the Mishkan. In a Mishkan of Chinas Malchus, it says in Kabbalah, the in Mishkan is Maramis of the Madrig of Malchus. The Malchus Nikra is Shechina, that we know in a lot of places. Malchus is called Shechina. Why is it called Shechina? Shechenes B'tachtein. Hashem Shechina B'tachtein, because it really dwells in the lower world. The sphere of Malchus is the Makar of Olam. The Hiyam is the Betches by Olam. No, it's not. That level of Malchus, that Tzilus, which is the lower Madriga, is included and invested in the Olam Tachtenim, in the Olam Sinivoim, to create them and to give them life. They share his house never about Gulma and Sabrik, which my uncle because now the creation to happen, creation of limited creatures out of the infinite, and so how is that world? Only can only come about from the laws Madrigan of Atzilus. In your door, it goes into the discussion. In your door, that seals the harvest from Mutzah and yourself and myself. Wait, point. But Olam Atzilus, his function is to be the Mutzah, the intermediate interface, the modern terms, between the Matzah and the Yourself and myself and the point. Sharotz and the Royal Mitzvah Shalabats and so the Rotz itself, the Rotz and the will, the will Kaviyachol. To create that comes in Atzvah itself. When she goes to Mitzrayim, the stupid changes. In Mitzrayim is the lashon keshe'olah b'yotzein is what people say with the later reward. Keshe'olah b'yotzein and zeh the lo'is katzali b'rosani v'alma. So the ultimate source of everything is the Eibishter Ratzon Kaviyachol. Ratzon means the desire, the will, the interest. But in order for that to actually happen, if the Ratzon is with Galus, the Atzmus is expressed, so there's no space for any void. But so that's why the first step of the actual creation is first there is the Atzilus, which is all of that. It's only a radiance of the Atzilus. Well, about it seems, and what type of all it is, it's not the direct all, it's all it comes to a tzimtzum, to a contraction. Which basically means that the oil that comes to the tzimtzum is not the same essence of the original oil. Yes and no. It's not the actual essential oil because oil cannot, if it reaches our reality, everything is bought. But it also can be most if something new. So again, it loses its power to do anything. But it's chas v'shalom. It's chas v'shalom. Ke'ilu the Eibishter needs another entity to have to create. That's we can say it. Now, was there's a symptom that makes the type of oil like a diminished shimutz. That is Atzilus bichlal. That's the function of Olam Atzilus. The sphere of Atzilus, the function is to serve as a memutz. Atzilus, but even within Atzilus itself, there's a lot of madrigas in Atzilus. In the Rakna Tachtein of Atzilus actually is in Atzilus Guf, there's various madrigas. It doesn't go into the details here, we are not as a spheres, etc. So which madriga in Atzilus Guf is expressed in the actual creation of our reality, of our universe, that's only the lowest madriga. I know that is the madriga of Malchus of Atzilus, which is called Asiyah Shabatzilus. Asiyah is like the lowest madriga. Why is it called Asiyah? The Atzilus Gufa, the spheres of Atzilus Gufa is made up of Eris and Kalim, The Ika of the Kalim is in the Malchus. In a way, the Kalim of each sphere is the Malchus. Malchus means, the Kalim means that the border, the definition. So that's the lowest part, which is really which is Malchus. It brings in another point. I was flawless. I mean, no, we mentioned it times. The term massive, whatever brings from Kabbalah, in addition to the regular four elements we know, there's also something called Abiyad the Flawless, the more general view of Atzilus B'Yetziras. And that scheme, so Atzilus is the Eresav Shlifnei Atzilus. Bria is the Adam Kadmai. Yitzira is Akudim Nekudim. That's what you'll learn if you. That's the lesson of the Torah, Akudim and Nekudim. And Asiya is Atzilus. So the closest elements, when you look from a more greater perspective, more wider general perspective, so Elam Atzilus is called Asiya the close. Why is it called Asiya? Close elements it's Adam the Asiya. It's called Adam because the Lashon is there's an expression, there's a mimer called Gimel Mine Adam. There's three types of Adam. Adam das the Bria, which is Adam Kadmon. Adam the Yitzira, which is like I said before, it's Akudim Nekudim, and Adam the Asiya is Atzilus. Why the Atzilus is called Asiya? Because in Atzilus there's Kalim. Kalim means like we just said, the defining and limiting energy. So that is called Asiya. Shamayla, Matzilus, lo yesh Kelim. Because above Atzilus, there's no Kelim. But Atzilus yesh Kelim. Mashom zeh nikol Asiya, כמו שקוראים במקומות. So the Atzilus is called Asiya the Chlolus because Atzilus is the first element that's real Kelim. Kelim means, again, like I said, the defining shapes and forms. The Ika Kelim, and with Tina Tzilas Gufa, where's the Ika? Where's the Ika of the Kelim? That Gipnas Malchus. That test for Yoina is a Kelim Enim though if not in the higher 9 spheres, the Kelim are not really though bifnei atzmai. It's a separate entity. In Malchus, the Kelim Kaviyachol are more separate. She brings a mashal. She goes a makamach. She brings a mashal. She goes a makamach a mashal. The Kelim that Atzilus, actually it says in Pardes. Atzilus always brings from Pardes and the Ramak, the famous mashal. And earth with Kelim, it's like a light going through glass. So the glass, the colors of the glass are mashal in the Kelim. So it says that Kelim that seals a Gvane says the colors only describe the etzem. They don't become something that's not new. Kamoin brings an interesting marshal. Gmaro Gvana Tapuach, the appearance and the color of an apple, from the appearance and from the color of the apple, we know what taste it is. The Gavan Lovan Meral Sikus. That's what it says in the early sources. That the white and bright apple means that the apple is sweet. And if it's a red color, that shows that the apple is sour. So we see. Not to get into the exact. The point is that the color, the view, the color, the appearance expresses what's inside. All right. So what do we see? It's not that the appearance changes the apple. It's not because the apple is red. That's why he's sour. No, the apple is sour. That's the essence of the apple. How do we perceive it sour? Is by seeing that there's a certain color. So he said, what do we see here? Says. So the color only describes what type of apple it is, what type of essence it is. It's not that the color changes the essence of the apple, right? Combine is another marshal. Chochmas Adam Toyopon. The wisdom of a person shines in his face. You look at a person's face, according to this pasuk. There is something similar to that real experience. Now we say others fun. Okay. Pasuk says Chochmas Adam Toyopon. The person's wisdom shines in his face. You look at his face, you see the shine in his face, tells us there is a level of wisdom. It's the same thing. So the oil of the point, that's not the cause of his wisdom. That only shows us that he's wise. So that's too much shalim from the students of the Puach and the point. Was the name shul? That's interesting. Moshe. When we say that the kelim and gvani oil, shemetayim ganim say lo lifel though. It's not that the kelim affect the oil. They don't do anything to the oil. They just express what the oil is. What I'm shkotzim is about chol hamoyim reishon hey. Maima and Emshach Shavuos and hey. That concept is discussed. What is he saying here? You know what he's saying is like this. When they say kelim, the oil has the inherent power. Let's say in the manimshal. In a way, it's easier to explain in the nimshal maybe. The oil is infinite. The Eibishter has the infinite power to express himself in various ways. But without the kelim, we can't see it. In other words, the Eibishter, the oil himself is bligvul. He can be kind bligvul. He can be wise bligvul. But without the kelim, we can perceive that his kindness or his wisdom or his strength. The keli is the one that describes the strength of the of that's inherent in the oil, the leki. The Eibishter is in the Kol himself. Bligvul, he has bligvul kindness, but without the keli, we won't feel the kindness because the infinity is so great that we can't perceive it. So the keli describes what is kindness, the kindness that's really hidden in the oil. That is the meaning of kelim stam. That's the kelim of the tet spheres. Then he says, what is it was the effort? Nimis a kelim, chetzenis a kelim. Then Siddish talks sometimes the difference nimis a kelim, chetzenis a kelim. We jump back from this abstract concept to a more in a way megushim dika concept. The nimis chetzenis a kelim. Look at the cup. The cup contains water, right? So there's two parts of the cup. There's the pnimius, inner part of the cup actually contains the water. The oil is in there. So the chitzonius, the outside doesn't have that it's just a way for us to handle the cup. So it's a lower stage. So he says, so the pnimius that I bought the marshal from a gushim the marshal from an actual cup. Going back to our the concept of kelim here, the pnimius a kelim l'tayos etz. It shows it says each keli has both aspects. The pnimius is l'tayos etz, and just to describe, like I said, the keli is told the kliya chesed describes to us the infinite kindness that the oil has inherently has in it. Mashenk and chitzayin a kelim lifel. Chitzayin a kelim take the oil and act out the kindness in a way, in a practical way, which is in a way it changes the oil. The oil should be able to relate to us, not just describe what the has in it inherently. It actually executes the kind in the marshal fest to execute the kindness in our own reality. But it says that's the potius. But in our mind, is not dealing with potius. But they're cloud. But generally speaking, the difference is in the test spheres and malchus. Okay, the test spheres. So I think it says the ayin, but I think it should be a test. The test spheres. The kelim, the way and the other 9 spheres, they're not separate from the oil. They're just express. They're entire. So, malchus and Mashenken, the Kelim, the Malchus, that's Ikar Kelim, that's like a Mitzvah Nivdo. They become, that creates a separate type of being. This is why there's another difference in the other spheres of Malchus. The other spheres are always in a state of ascent, connecting to the source. And Malchus, the opposite, the function of Malchus is to descend, going up or down, Aliyah and Yerida. So it brings a pasuk to elaborate and describe this difference. Because the ruach ha'adam ha'elei l'mayla says in pasuk in Keheles, ruach ha'adam ha'elei l'mayla. The spirit of the human spirit goes up, it ascends. Ruach ha'be'ema ha'elei l'mayla. Mashenken, the spirit of the be'ema, of the animal, descends. So what is it meaning in our context? Adam be'ema upchin is ma'alban. It says in Kabbalah that Adam be'ema. One second. Adam be'ema is remez of ma'alban. The two shemes ma'alban, which really represent the two madrigas of Zoh and Malchus. It said, there's the famous four ways that you can write the Shema, the meal of Shema Havai, the Gematria, Ab Sagma Ban is Chachma, Bina, Zon, Malchus, Man, Ban, Zon, Malchus. It says here, where do we see it? We see it in the Gematria. Adam, Gematria, Ma. The word Adam is Gematria 45, which is Shema. Be'ema, Gematria, Ban. So going back to Adam, Be'ema, on this pasuk, and according to this pshat, it presents a higher level. It presents the Zoh and Malchus. The Meili says the Zoh that Silos. So going to explain better, the Madrig of Zoh, which is like we said earlier, the test sphere, the higher sphere is Ruach Adam Elam. In the test sphere is that's the spirit which has Elam, which is in a state of ascent. Because the Kalim, like we just said before, the Kalim in the test spheres, they're not separate, they're not new creation, they're the expression of the oil, like the Gavana Tapuach, like the Chachma Tzadam Terapon. In these spheres, in the top spheres, in Zoh, the Iko is the oil, not the Kalim. But Teva oil allows the Mayim. We know that Teva oil, the nature of light, is to ascend. Let's see this talks in Tani Period test. Teva oil allows the Mayim. The same concept. Teva oil, the oil is always wants to connect to its source, to ascend, to back to its source. However, Prince Malchus, which that's Shem Ban, even as Rocha Be'ema, Eres Lamata. It's Galos HaKelim, because in Malchus, it's this Galos HaKelim is Galos HaKelim in Malchus. What is the dominant power of the Kelim? The Teva HaKelim, the Teva of the nature of the Kelim is fakir, not it's to descend into this world. See, look in the bottom, it tells us which Maimon it is. And Maim of and that's Maimon describes the difference between Eretz and Cain. That explains what he started saying. The Pchinas Malchus is a Sir Shabbat Tzilus. That's why Malchus is called a Sir Shabbat Tzilus. So don't forget, the whole thing started, we got into a long discussion, but like a detour stickle, but the point was start saying is that Mishkan is Dira B'Tachtein, Shechenet B'Tachtein. That's Malchus. He explained why Malchus, because Malchus is the lowest part of Olam Atzilus, but is Gabos HaKelim, the dominant, the Kelim, which is the Yerida. So Malchus is that function, Kaviyachol, of the Ebershter, which he descends and dwells in the our world. In the Olam Atzilus. Okay, that's step one. Nice. So it's we describe what Malchus, what Mishkan and Malchus. Mishkan and Malchus is that Indian with Elikus, the way Elikus reaches us, it descends into our reality. That's point one. Yeah, the Olam is the whole universe, not just the physical universe, the whole spiritual and physical universe. The Olam is generally divided into three stages. Agam Shabbat is more specific. There is an abundance of elements, but because of Alam is a misfall, think of Alam is elements. The pasuk says in the Shirashirim, Shmainim Telakshim, Alam is a misfall, but Shishmaim Malacha, Shmainim Telakshim, Alam is a misfall. So one of the Medrashim of Alam is a misfall means Alam is a misfall. There's really unlimited, uncountable amount of elements. That's general. That's the potis. But there are and but more in more specific, it's like a mispo. But from a general perspective, it's three general levels of reality. Bria, Tzira, Asiyah. And that's the moment in the pasuk in the Shaya. Kol anika u'shmi v'lichvoidi b'rose v'tzarti v'chasisi. Because Boase, Bria, Tzartim, Nechasis, three stages. So in order to reach the Olam HaSiyah, so again, the first thing, Malchus is creating Olam Biyah, but Olam HaSiyah is the lowest of them. So in order for that to happen, in Malchus Gufa, in spheres of Malchus Gufa, in order to reach the Olam HaSiyah, the lowest madriga, we need the cut. The lowest madriga in the Olam is, we need that comes from the lowest madriga in Elikus, in Malchus. The pasuk in Pashas Nosri describes the story of mice with the Saita. So it says the Lashon that offer Shakarka a Mishkan from the dust that's on the ground of the Mishkan. He takes from the offer and puts it in the Mayim Ma'orim. So but we're not talking about the Saita. He's just translating of this expression. Offer Shebakaka Mishkan. There's the Mishkan. The Mishkan has a karka, the bottom of the Mishkan, the ground, and there's offer, there's dust, what's meant to us. The karka Mishkan, the concept of karka Mishkan, we just said before, Mishkan is Malchus. What is karka Mishkan? Just like in the physical Mishkan. Karka is the ground, the lowest part of the Mishkan, the lowest madrega. The Vemes is why it says the Gdel allows him to say about Mamish. It's even from Spheres HaMalchus, which is the lowest madrega in Atzilus, to create a limited beings, limited creatures like we are. Yes, see, Mitzias Yesh, a ego and Balgul Mamish, very limited. That's a major, a huge descent. And he brings Lachsidus always brings a riot that our universe is limited from the Gemara. The fact that we say that we can measure the distance from the from the ground to the heaven, so that shows that we are limited. So the answer is what madrega is takim. What madrega is the creation of the Balik Bull, that the pasuk says, it says k'maima, but really it's a pasuk. We looked it up. It's a pasuk. Everything was created from dust. V'hainu, what does it mean? The godly soul that creates and gives life to the Olam HaSiyah, to our own world, which is that madriganally cool. So that's the offer. Offer is dust, which is doimim, inanimate, the lowest madrigan there. That's another remez of that from the pasuk in Merkavas Yecheskel, v'oifen echad ba'aretz. One wheel was on the ground. What's meant oifen echad ba'aretz? They find him she'elam be'elam asiyah. They find him at the malachim that in olam asiyah. Sofim v'chayis hakodesh nefanim. So Sofim is Noilam Abriya. Chayis hakodesh is Nitzira, and nefanim is Nasiya. So they find him Nasiya. Ve'ein shlucha hashefa lashpil Noilam Asiya Gashmi. These are the messengers to bring down the godly the flow into our physical world. It touches ba'aretz in the opposite view. Not ba'aretz means that it's in our earth. Ba'aretz means the source. What is their source? Ba'aretz means in the karka mishkan, the lowest madrega and malchus. Aretz is like karka, the same concept, the ground. So, so we explained another point. So first, we said the general concept Malchus is creating this world. That the creation of Olam is beyond general is from Sfiras HaMalchus. But then, more specifically, what Madrega in Sfiras HaMalchus creates Olam Asiyah, the lowest Madrega within Malchus Gufa, which is called Ofa Shir Bagar Kamish. Okay, that's step one. But now it goes to the opposite direction. Omnam in Asiyah Sabishah like one of the Shegila. The creation of the Mishkan is not just that the Eibishter is here, the Eibishter reaches our world. It has to be gilded, it has to be expressed, we have to feel it. Because the ultimate purpose is gilded, which comes to us shachanti b'seichem. The Eibishter, in other words, the purpose and the goal of Mishkan is shachanti b'seichem. The Eibishter should dwell within us in a way you should feel it. It doesn't mean just we should continue to exist because God gives us, creates us and gives us life. But in that case, that happened when Eibishter created the world. So that level of malchus, in a way that's hidden, that's there all the time. That's not the chiddush of the Asiyas HaMishkan. What's the chiddush of Asiyas HaMishkan? That the likud should be misgalus. I know. רק הכוונה היא שיגיל הליכוס למטה, שגיל הליכוס למטה, the ליכוס should be revealed. וזהו, היינו שיודע בתחתינו. So that's the concept of we always know, דיע בתחתינו. בתחתינו דווקא, מה תחתו ששוכב מעל מדרגה, יגיל הליכוס, in this lowest realm, in אלם התחת, the lowest world, which is שוכב מדרגה, which is very low, the Milo Madrega, that's the Lashon Tanya in Perek Lamed Vov. The Milo Madrega, which is like two expressions of level and stage, the lowest stage, which means, in other words, it says, not just that in our world, not only should we feel the malchus, which Gilei Atzilus should be. Not only that, that the ultimate purpose is that in this world we should feel the Gilei of Atzilus and even above Atzilus. And that's Marumas in the pasuk. V'asa li migdash. It says v'asa li migdash. It says v'asa migdash. What is v'asa li? Li upnes atzmus. And so the word li to me, for my essence. That's the remez in the word li. Ma'amar Razal, Chayno Razal. Kol mokem shenemar li. Razal say, what does the word li mean? Kol mokem shenemar li. Whenever the pasuk uses the expression li, it's a remez. Eine zos le'olam hazeh. It's something which has never moved. It's never expires. What do you call it? Constant. What's meant this? Because li means the gil of the atzmus, sham ein shein v'efsek lo. In the Madrega of Atzmus, there's no such thing as a stoppage or change. It's the Eibishter's essence. So it's is always there and is always the same. And Yasham Leshanisi. There's no change. Ein ezot. Ainu in the language of Siddur and Kabbalah means Gilim plus Atik. The Gil Li is Madrega from Atik, the less smaller by Atik. So the expression there is that in the Madrega of Atik there's no left side. What's mean? The Shiur has the Gvura when the evil Chesed and Gvura, which means the mean and small, Yachal is a cover. Then there can be a certain stoppage. You stop because Gvura, the concept of Gvura, small is to withhold the Shefa. So that's going to stop. Aber Knesset Atik less small by Atika. Ancient Makol left a cloud. In the Madrega of Atik, which less small, there's no left side, which means there's no Gvura, there's no blockage. So then there's not change. Ein Zot. Zeh Sher Begilu Besamikdash, and that Madrega was in a state of Gilu in Besamikdash, which Kosov, like Yaakov Avinu said in Parshas Vayetze, when he was it says over there that Yishkov b'mokem ha'u, and that's the place where it says his head was in Yerushalayim in Samikdash. So it says Ochan yesh havai b'mokem hazeh. Says Yaakov Avinu, Tirgum Onkelos less than Asar Edit Elohim Asar Darai. I'm not sure what Elohim means here. But Asar Darai b'Mikodam Hashem. That's the Lashon of the Tirgum Onkelos. Yesh havai b'mokem hazeh. You know, it's a known thing. The Rambam writes in the book that Onkelos, one of Onkelos's main purposes was to add every pasuk that smells a little of what we call anthropomorphism, applying Gashmis the Keterim to the Eibishter. So the Onkelos always uses words to explain that it doesn't really mean Chas v'Shalom the Eibishter as physical, as material qualities. That's an interesting Rambam writes in the book. So also in our part, Yesh Hashem Makom Hazeh, if you read it very literally, it may sound like God is here in this space. That space is affected by space, but we know God, the Eibishter is above space. So the Torah Munkel, as Dr. Moshe say it, is Yesh Hashem Hazeh less than a It's not a what is the word? Edit. What was the word? Not a place that's for common. It's not a common.
Mundane.
What? What's the word?
Mundane.
Mundane. Common. Okay. Not idiot. And you bring the Lashon. Asad Darai b'Mikodam Hashem. It's a place that has a special desire from the Eibush. So he explains in the Maimon, there is Medayik the Lashon of the Torah Monkelos. Says in I think in Zoya that Asam Amor, the mundane words, because they talk about creation of our physical reality. The lavo of the Malka that's not the custom of the king to speak words of mundane words. So he says, we just learned the Gemara before also. Some Amoris, only Shem Elikim. I am Elikim. Havai is not needed. Why the Shem Elikim is my Masal Shem Elikim. Makam Amigdosh less than Asar Edit. Makam Amigdosh is not unless Asar Edit and not the place where there's expression of the Edit of mundane word of Elikim. Meir Shem Gil Shem Havai. So that again, it's in the middle of bringing another source to express this idea that in Beis Hamikdash there is the Gil Elikus of Atzilus from Malam.
Yeah.